Hello, good evening. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. We welcome you to our Vokkarane Seva Trust YouTube channel. Today we are facing lot of LPG gas shortages and people are queuing up in petroleum station for filling the auto rickshaws and hotels have been closed, and under this circumstance our Samartya Sharan from Dayanand Sagar College Electronics and Tele Communication would like to present the fire fuels and alternatives. Okay, just for general knowledge of public, this is a special presentation we are bringing it to, so that people know what are the fuels available, alternate sources, and what fire safety have to be taken. That's what Sharan has prepared a presentation, and over to Sharan. Please take over and present the presentation.
So, good morning everyone. I'm Samartya Sharan of Dayanand College of Engineering, second year of Electronics and Tele Communication. So now I'll start with the presentation. So let's see, first we'll see what is fire. We'll talk about LPG issues and all that thing later on. First we'll talk about what is fire. Fire is a high temperature exothermic redox reaction. It occurs between a fuel and an oxidant. To have the fire you first need the fire triangle. According to this, as you can see in the fire triangle, there is fuel in the bottom. This is fuel that works as a medium that will burn, and then we supply heat. What is heat? Heat is a type of heat is just what we heat is the ignition temperature that increases the temperature of this fuel, and this fuel only works when there is oxygen. If there is no oxygen, it will never work. And then now we'll go, there are types of fires. Fires are categorized based on fuel involved. Let's say class A, ordinary combustibles such as wood, paper, clothing and plastics. But plastics don't burn like that much, but it will cause very much harm to the environment. Class B, flammable liquids, petrol, diesel, oil and grease that will instantly catch fire if you put a little bit of spark as well. Class C, flammable gases, LPG, CNG, hydrogen. LPG, CNG, what we see, LPG what we use in our house, CNG what we use in our autos and all. Combustible metals, that is class D, magnesium, titanium, sodium, these things burn instantly if they come in contact of the air, that is O2, hydrogen, nitrogen, whatever they come in contact with. Class E/F, that is electrical fires, short circuits, overloaded wires, server racks. Short circuits, this thing causes a lot of deaths in common people houses, because if the electrical supply is connected to the ground without any insulation and all, if the wire breaks apart, then the house catches fire. Then there is class K, cooking oils, deep fryers, fats and commercial kitchens. Cooking oils such as refined, and if we use a lot of heat on that, then it may burn and it can cause harm to humans. Now let's see fire safety. This slide will help you understand what to do and what not to in fire situations. First, if you have to distinguish the fire that is on woods and papers, water will work great, so there is no issues. It will break down the heat from the fire bits by bits and it will distinguish it completely. But water is not always the hero. It will not work on oil, petrol or cooking fires, because oil floats on water. It will never break the fire apart bits by bits. It will only stay on the surface of the fire, on the oil, but it will never distinguish the fire. So to distinguish the fire, what you need? A lid, a wet blanket or a fire extinguisher. A lid, what I meant by a lid is, you have to cover the fire, you have to cover the medium to distinguish that fire. So now for electrical fires, this is the third type. Water conducts electricity, so never throw water on electrical circuits, switches or plugs anywhere, because it will not only cause harm to you, it will not distinguish the water. So to cover that, you just need to follow the same situation what you are using in the top one, using a lid, or to cover it with a dry blanket. Never use wet blanket. So now let's see our third thing. What we can do is like how to save from fire. This thing, electrical safety, is like engineering background. Since I am, they provide MCBs, micro circuit breakers, and proper grounding. We have to do proper grounding of the circuits so that the electricity never comes out the wire. So for the storage, keep flammable liquids outside. Never keep flammable liquids inside or any near to the heat source, such as stoves and lighters. And then there's detection. Install detectors and heat sensors. In India, it is not very common to keep smoke detectors and heat sensors, but in US, in UK, in any other foreign land, there are smoke detectors that can directly detect heat and smoke, and it will directly throw out water. And then the most common thing that you can use to distinguish fire is a fire extinguisher. So to work, how to use the fire extinguisher is pass technique. First pull out this pin, and then aim the base to the fire. That is the base, you have to aim it to the fire, and then squeeze the handle, this handle. First of all, you need to apply a bit force to squeeze it, and then if you know what you do, you directly squeeze it very hard, and then sweep across from side to side. From the length from the width of the fire, you can directly sweep side to side. And then now we have to come to our main topic, LPG, petrol and diesel. What is LPG? It is just a squeezed gas. What we get from crude oil. So when the gas comes from the bottom to the top, we squeeze it very hard so that it becomes a liquid and you can directly fit it into metal cylinder. Real LPG has like no smell. Companies add a fake rotting egg smell. So like if there is a leak, you can notice immediately. So what is its main job? LPG's main job is for the home chef. You can keep it in home for cooking. Now we'll come to petrol, the sprinter. Petrol is very jumpy. Like petrol we get is after burning, it goes to the mid area of the kettle. So we can directly take it petrol from there because it's in middle form. It's not in completely gas, not in complete liquid, so that you can completely take it out and press it so that you can get petrol. So its main job, it's like since it's like when you give it heat, it explodes and becomes fast, so that we keep it for our cars, and its nickname is the sprinter because it is very jumpy. If you leave it in a bowl and so when it comes in contact with the air, it evaporates instantly. So that it is jumpy, so it ignites very fast with a little spark as well. So now our third topic is diesel. Diesel is thicker and oilier than petrol. It is much harder to light on fire. Even if we drop a matchstick, it will not burn instantly. You have to throw many matchsticks so that it can work. It can burn instantly. So its main job is to like strongman, it is known as, because once it starts burning, it provides a lot of pushing power. That is, when it burns, it would give so much power that the vehicle it is in, it will run fast instantly. So that's why it is used in trucks that carry heavy loads. It doesn't give only speed, but it only gives stability. So now we'll go to how it is manufactured. So what I was talking about before is this kettle that is known as distillation tower. First of all, we get crude oil from earth, from sea, from there, and then we put it inside the bottom of the kettle. So once we start heating, the lightest part, that is LPG, it will start flowing to the top, and then from the top we can take it out and we can compress it to make it as LPG. And then the heavy parts such as diesel, that will never go up, that will condense in the bottom. We can take it out to make it as diesel. And then there's a medium part that is not completely top and that is not completely bottom, that is in middle, that will work as petroleum. So let's see, this is just a basic diagram to understand what happens. Okay, now we'll go to the end. Yeah, so now this is the situation as of what is happening in India right now. Indian government has triggered Natural Gas Supply Regulation Order 2026. It means the country is prioritizing fuel for essential sectors like fertilizers and home cooking. Currently, fuel prices in Bangalore are petrol is like 103 per liter, but likely it will increase and decrease on basis of what is happening or like how we receive the fuel, such as $150 per barrel, $200 per barrel. It will depend on that. But for LPG, the supply is very tight. Not even everyone is not getting cylinders on the regular basis. Such as, let's say, if you book a cylinder right now, at this moment, there is no certain period where you know you will get a cylinder. Because what I did, I ordered on 12th of March, I got it on 19th of March. And there is no certain period of time you know you will get in that. Because my friend ordered right now, if we ordered right now, we'll get in 3 weeks or 2 weeks. Because people, what they are doing is they are keeping it in black market. They are buying it from black market. That costs a lot more, because in India the prices for LPG are 800 to 900 rupees, but in black market it goes to 5,000, 6,000. If it's for commercial use, it will go to 10,000, 15,000. Max to max it can go for 30,000. They are in very dire need for that, so that's why they go for LPG from black market. So now what alternatives we can use? Let's say for LPG, petrol and diesel. First we'll go for LPG. Since LPG is not available at this moment in most of the houses, so what people should do is starts with induction and electric cooktops, because these work on electricity and electricity is not going anywhere right now. You can use electricity to use these, but for them you need electrical cooktops as well, what they are specifically designated for. Because for stoves it is different, and for electrical cooktops it is different. What you have for stoves will not work for electrical cooktops, because for cooktops there is plain base and insulated material in there, but what we have in our stoves, it will never work on cooktops, so please remember that. And then there's piped natural gas, PNG. If it's in Bangalore, you have an apartment or anywhere, there's GAIL gas connections. Even in Patna and UP, they supplied this GAIL gas connection, that is piped natural gas. They have prepaid meters and postpaid meters. So for prepaid meters, how they work, they follow the sense how the gas is flowing through your house, how much you are using. There's a sensor in the end of in the apartment, in the bottom, and there's a sensor in your house as well. That will see how much gas you are using. Okay? And so now we'll go for alternatives uses for transportation, that is petrol and diesel alternatives. So if you are in any place where you can get metros, local trains, so use that. And buses are available everywhere. So bus you can use for common transport. Please go for common transport. Don't go for like separate vehicles right now, because fuel reserves might end, and we will not have fuel for any further use. Now we have electric vehicles. EVs are the new petrol. Okay, electronic vehicles are the new petrol vehicles. EV is very easy to use because it doesn't use petrol, it will only use charging. You will charge the vehicle, you can use it just very similar to petrol vehicles. So let's say for 100% charge, many vehicles go for 50 kilometers in an instant. They can travel for 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers if you have 100% charge. Okay, so now we have the third is bio-CNG. India has adopted the SAT-80 scheme. Some buses and commercial vehicles, they use bio-CNG. Bio-CNG is we use it from compost, fertilizers, and all the manures we can use as bio-CNG. Okay, and so by this I would like to conclude my presentation, and I would really love to thank Vokkarane Seva Trust for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sagar. You gave an insight to the fuel situation in the country, and it is a very good project what you have taken up for your academic. I wish you all the very best. Do good. And next project, probably you make a presentation on the conservation of petroleum product, which is non-renewable, which is essential for the general public. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All the very best.
Thank you, sir.